Well, Derek, there's a reason we call it Deathpiles and Taxes. It's because I got a whole load of stuff that I just need to list, and I haven't been doing it.
Well, Adam, you're not alone. That's why people are listening right now. I know that they're just tiptoeing around them death piles all around their houses and apartments.
It's real fun to buy, but it kind of stinks to sell. So what can I do about it, buddy?
Well, you're in luck. We've partnered with a great company called Sellhound, and what they're going to do is they're going to list all your death piles for you. They'll do the work for you.
Oh, I love it when people do the work for me. How do I get in on that deal?
Well, first off, they're going to let you try it. First 2 are free on the house. After that, man, they got simple plans. They're just going to make it easy. You take a few pictures, you send it over to them, and they do all the work.
That sounds really too easy, and I've used it myself. It's awesome. D-Roy, what do our listeners have to do to take advantage of this?
Just do Deathpiles 25, Deathpiles all capital letters at the end when you're signing up for your payment. And you'll save 25% off whatever plan you go with.
That sounds awesome. Get on there, start listing, start selling so you can go out and buy some more stuff.
We sell your items online. Go ahead, declutter your life. Have a yard sale or let eBay do the work. From the thrift store shopping to that wallet popping, there are 2 things in life that are certain. Deathpiles in Texas. Deathpiles in Texas. With Derek Everitt and Adam Beesley.
D-Roy, your favorite time of the week is right now.
Oh, are we starting?
Deathpiles and Taxes.
We're doing this?
We are doing this for sure. Your podcast about making money online and paying less in taxes.
Hey, let me say, congratulations for your... We were a little premature last week, and your episode hadn't aired. We didn't time that out quite right, but Adam was on with Uncle Griff over at the eBay for Business podcast.
The big boys.
I'm guessing now that we have some new listeners that heard you over there and came to see what all the hubbub was about.
I know we have some new listeners.
No pressure, but you got to bring it this week, Adam.
I will tell you, shout out to the few people that reached out to us on the website. We got a little chat in there. Trying to bring some wayward fellow people who sell online back into the fold by paying their taxes on time. Yeah, sometimes people think that it's so difficult they just forget about it and they don't want to pay for, 18, 19, or 20. You got to still pay your taxes.
Set it and forget it is what I say to do with listings, not your taxes.
That's a good point.
So,
can I come right out of the gate with a Bolo?
As I'm saying, you got to bring it this week. No one knows who I am. No one cares. So let's go.
I am going to say we haven't brought up any Bolos in a while, but D-Roy, if I could say, Derek, I'm going to let you buy something for, $5, and I'm going to let you turn around and sell it for about $67. Is that something you'd be interested in?
I'd buy you out of stock. I'd buy you out of inventory.
Well, I almost did that, but Robinhood shut down my account, and I could only buy so much Dogecoin.
Oh, you're going crypto as your Bolo?
Dogecoin.
No, I thought you had something that we could sell on eBay.
Oh, I'm just saying. Well,
I thought we were reselling.
I think eBay's going to get into the crypto game. I think
they might take it as a payment. I don't think you're going to be able to flip it on there.
Well, all I'm saying is, man, we had.
I found you a BMW.
I saw that. I did see that. I have enough Dogecoin to buy that BMW, but I'm not in the market for a new car.
Then you sell the BMW for cash dollars.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Then I'd be reselling. Then I'd be flipping.
See, there you go.
It's all about.
There was a local classified, or maybe it's Facebook Marketplace, and guy was selling his car for. Adam's gonna crack it.
Oh yeah.
Adam's having him do 30. Was selling some BMW for what was it, 1,700?
17,000.
17,000
Dogecoins, and if you got it at the good time, it was a nickel. If you got it in a bad time, it was 68 cents.
Either way, that's not a horrible price.
Great price. I don't know. I'm not big in. Maybe brother-in-law Colbert could give us the auto advice.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm just saying that's an opportunity.
Well, this time when this does air, tax time is about over. So if you have not made your payments yet, which speaking of, did you send off your? Well, you only owed $1. Your tax guy did great. So don't forget to send that $1.
I was hoping I'd get that $1 back. So what happened is I owed more than $1.
Well, yeah, it was net $1.
I had to pay the government, the federal government, X amount of money, and then I got back from the state.
Yeah.
X amount, and it came to $1. So I need to send a check for $1.
And that's a good point, because a lot of people think, oh, they'll just pay that. No, that's not how the government works. They do not do swapsies with each other. So if you owe one place and you're getting a refund from the other place, you better just go ahead and take care of that, D-Roy.
Yeah, it's done. Paid and accounted for.
I can tell you one thing. I'm getting a little bit closer to have some listings done. I got to have some more stuff in my store so I can start making the big doll hairs.
We start making some money. We've been listing. We got the top secret. I'll just say we got a top secret thing me and Adam are working on. We're always working on something, but this has potential.
Stealth mode.
So we'll just leave it at that for now. I don't want to get in any trouble.
Like your buddy, the coach said, we are a believer out to the West Desert boys.
We're with some West Desert boys, and we see things flying here in the future.
That's right.
I also had a major announcement. I don't know how I never put this together, but Adam Beesley and his sister Pam Beesley is one of my favorite characters on The Office.
Yeah.
Your relation, somehow she was a lot nicer than you ever thought to be. And I never put that one together.
Do you not see my Dunder Mifflin paper back there?
I'm just saying, I've been listening to some Office podcasts and stuff. I've been doing a lot of driving. And the name Pam Beesley and Adam Beesley just clicked to me because we always just called you Prumpy. And I thought,
That's true.
There you go. That has nothing to do with reselling at all, which you'll learn this podcast. We go on tangents every now and again. But we're always there to entertain and make you some money.
But if you are any kind of Office, in the word, like you're really good at it.
Fan.
Yes, but there's like a bigger word.
Fanatic.
Yes. Sell that stuff, man. There's some Office stuff that's worth crazy money. If you want to do a really good gift for somebody, D-Roy hit us up with one of these. We had our buddy Mick Foley on the other day. Cameo's a good spot to get any of your favorite Office characters to throw a shout out for somebody for their birthday. Mother's Day is this week.
That's true. You don't want to be, now by the time you're listening to this, you're just realizing, hey, Mother's Day is either the next day or the day you're listening. It might be time to move a little quick and get mom something. Don't forget. You don't want to be that kid.
Don't forget. Which, speaking of, we got to have Derek Everitt on for the Father's Day special.
Yeah, you better book that.
I will book that.
You know, I get told no by family members when I ask them to come on the show anymore.
That's true.
So, let me ask you this question, Adam. So, for Mother's Day, obviously you get your mother something. Do you buy your wife something?
Absolutely.
What would you say to somebody like, I don't know, let's say we have a friend, we'll just call them Friend A, I'm assuming.
Okay.
And Friend A says, well, she's not my mother. She's the mother of my children. But she didn't give birth to me. I'm not getting her anything.
Well, you tell that Friend A he's a moron, and if he wants to sleep on the couch, you better repent and change his ways.
Okay, I'll pass on the
what does it do for, like, who cares? Just think that you're spending a little bit of money for a lot of bit of happiness. So just go out and buy some flowers. Like, I mean, I'm all for making something, last year I got my wife this, it personalized. It had our kids' names and their dates of birth on it. Something really fun. So don't forget the holiday. And there's a lot of nice things on eBay that you can buy for Mother's Day. I did that a couple of years ago for my mom. Found something that she'd really like, and I bought it on eBay.
Was it a flower?
No.
Okay.
It was a plaque that said her grandma.
I think you told us about that. If I'm remembering correctly, it'd be available in the archives if it's up. Still trickling out the episodes. I apologize. I know there's some confusion there, but you'll get a new episode, and several might be new to you throughout the weeks.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is you're doing something right, because we were getting record number of downloads. Record.
Well, I know what I'm doing right, and I'll tell you off the air because I don't want to spoil the magic.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of things going on because we are every single day, and man, I was going to look at them. We have some unfathomable number in a different country. I think I counted the other day is like 69 different countries that we have been downloaded in.
That's a unique amount of countries.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch. I don't know. I better not say anything.
Yeah, you don't want to lose any of those.
I don't want to lose any of those good listeners.
I might have to go to one of those countries to live now if we're accepting. Maybe I'll become, mayor, king, president, something like that.
I know you've been getting into this. It's going to be yardie season. We're trying to get things listed for eBay. What are you doing right now? I know that it's kind of a rough season for you. How do you prep what you're going to list? I guess that's one of the listeners. They've been asking me, like, what am I supposed to do? How do I get in that listing mode?
Well, you have to make time for it, right? Because it's like anything. If you just say, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to clearing out the sink, I'm going to get to doing the dishes, I'm going to get to mowing the lawn. If you don't put a actual date and a goal on that, like I mow the lawn Thursday mornings or Thursday, I clear the dishes after I'm done eating, or I vacuum at the end of the day, or whatever your routine is. Listing has to become part of a routine. It can't just be something that you get to when you get to. So maybe it's Sunday morning, I wake up at 6, or when I get out of bed, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to list for 20 minutes, an hour. Maybe it's when you come home from work at night, I have a half hour free time, or after the kids go to bed, I'm going to list till midnight. Whatever that is, you got to come up with a routine so that you just do it. Because if not, we all know we're going to get to it, and then, hey, this movie's on, it's pretty funny. Hey, I need to go to bed because I need to wake up in the morning. Hey, I got a meeting to get to. Oh, I haven't listed for a while. Hey, I'm going out thrift shopping. Hey, I have to hit yard sales on Saturday. And you'll just keep putting it off. So it's one of those things, just like anything in life. Some people love it. I know it's not people in this room, and I know it's not a lot of people, but some people, that's where they shine. They don't really like the finding. They might like a treasure hunt here and there, but they really like the details, putting in the items, doing that process. A lot of us aren't that way, so we have to be disciplined. It is a job. In order to make money at it, you have to list, and you have to set aside a block of time, whenever that is for you. And that's the nice thing. You're your own boss. You only have to be accountable to yourself and maybe a spouse or whatever, but you have to be accountable. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, you're going to have some problems. It's kind of like a diet or whatever. I mean, husky section talking here.
Yes.
I'm not going to have any cookies, or I'm not going to go get me a snack or an ice cream cone, and then you drive by and like, well, maybe I'm just going to get a small ice cream cone and not a large. You have to get in that habit that this is when you list, and when you do it, you have to be serious about it. You put on your podcast, you're listening to Deathpiles and Taxes, you're listening to your Randy Travis Best Of CD, You're listening to whatever you're listening to, and once you get in that mindset and that groove, I find that if you put a lot of things together, like, Adam talked a lot about listing cards. Okay, I'm just doing cards today. Maybe I'm just doing basketball cards. I'm just doing T-shirts. I'm just doing soccer cleats, whatever it is. You focus on that, and then it's a lot easier to get into a groove and a flow, and your couple hours are up or whatever, half day's done, whatever, and then you can move on to your next project, but you have to devote the time.
Yeah, and once you get into it, it's like one of those, it's not as bad as you think it is. And I know it's kind of counterproductive, like you can't make money unless it's listed, so hopefully that's what ultimately it's to make money, I think.
That's the goal, right? Even if it's just a hobby seller and you're just doing a little bit, maybe you just want to fund a trip to the beach or the water park in the summer, or maybe you just want to buy those ice cream cones, right? But an extra couple bucks is an extra couple bucks, and that adds up. So you just got to list, and you got to know, okay, this is probably $7 or $20. If I list, 5 of these in an hour, that's whatever, $100 an hour, whatever that number is, and that kind of can motivate a person when you're like, okay, it's just a box of old kids' clothes or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's kind of junky, or I kind of just don't want to deal with it today. But then if you think about it, and you're like, hey, I list all that, that's going to be $500 right there.
$300.
If I can do that in an hour, that's $500 an hour. I would walk on hot asphalt for 100 yards for if there's $500 at the end, they say you just have to do it for 10, 15, whatever minutes. I'm going to try. I might not make it, but I'm going to try. And it's a lot easier to sit in my air-conditioned house and put a few pictures up on eBay to do that same amount.
So if we were to collectively put together a pool, we'll plan the boys' trip to Vegas, and let's see if we can get D-Roy to walk across the strip there barefoot in the hot asphalt.
If there's $500 to $800, definitely
$500 to $800.
Well, whatever. We'll see what it is. Sometimes there's women's clothing. Sometimes there's Luka Doncic cards. There's a variety. I think $500. I'm going to give it. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll try it. You could throw out the kids' Legos, and for a certain fee, I will try to walk over those. Now, whether I make it or not, or whether I curse so much that your kids can't watch is a different story. But you best guarantee there's certain money that dollar figures that motivates me. And when I'm looking at my death pile, I'm like, oh, I got that for $3. I got that for $4. And you're just like, okay, you do some math, okay, that's $10, whatever, you get a few things. That's not so much motivation, but I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to list that for $50. I'm going to list that for $25. Okay, $75 is going to get my butt moving a little faster than $10.
And we always know, too, is it's eBay's got this weird algorithm, like if you feel like your store is kind of stagnant, if you're not making money, usually the big pick-me-up is start listing some new things.
You start listing some new things, maybe some of your older stuff, you put up a little sell. You
send out the offers.
You send out some offers, you tweak your shipping a little bit, maybe you change the words in your title, how they're laid out a little bit. And it's weird, it's kind of like, I went to Tijuana a few years back, Adam. I think we talked about this at some point. You've been to Tijuana.
I have been to Tijuana.
So me and my family, we go over to Tijuana. Me and Danny and my mom and brother and my wife. A few people go on over, and we're as gringo as it gets. I mean, don't speak any barely. I can barely say no habla. I mean,
cerveza.
I'm pretty that way. I'm just not cultured in that way. I can't speak the language. Try as I might, if I try to, I'd butcher it and be even more insulting. You know, I have that weird accent, and I'm from, so I'm not even going to try. But anyways, we get over there, and we get in a taxi cab, and, we fit 20 of us in a 5-passenger bus like a clown car, and we say, take us to, I forget whatever the street is, but we have the street out, and we're like pronouncing it Riviera or something, Riviera town, or however it goes, and guys laughing. $5. He takes us a couple of miles, but we can fit in, as many people as we can fit in. He's happy. We get there, and they have the little shops. And what Tijuana is known for is obviously bargain hunters and shopping and haggling and that kind of a thing, and a few other things. But this is what we're here for. So we go to the shops, and we're there pretty early. The Everett bunch.
Oh, yeah,
I like to get there early, and I like to get there, so you have a good time to enjoy yourself. You're not rushing. There's not a large crowd. You're able to get the whole experience in. So we get there, and it's like, 10 a.m. or something like that. The shops are just opening.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the shopkeepers are trying to make that first sell.
Yeah.
Because they say the first sell is good luck, is what they got their shtick to. I get it. It's a whole, you come in, we're going to talk you up, and, we'll make you some offers. It's kind of like an eBay of sorts, but it's their own marketplace. And they get that first sell, and they say it's good luck, and then they'll get more sales throughout the day. Well, going back to what we're talking about with eBay, you get that first sell for whatever. You tweak the algorithm, you list things, whatever. It seems you get that first sell, and it doesn't just stop at one item. Before you know it, you probably have 2 or 3, maybe 5 things throughout the day. But it takes that first sell. So whether that's putting out offers or however it works, open up your little Tijuana, store, get the gringos to come in. Maybe you charge me a little bit. Maybe you give me a good deal. I don't know.
It's true.
I got my belt with my name on it, and I came home happy. And the same with my store, right? Maybe somebody offers me a little less for something that I want to take, but I'm like, hey, if this kicks in the algorithm, I'll take a little bit of a kick now to sell a few more items on the backside.
You just brought up a good point, and I think it is called that. Like the cowboy tie. It's got like the little drawstrings, and it's usually got like a scorpion in the middle.
Yeah, is that Bolo tie, right?
That's a
Bolo.
That's what I thought it was.
That's a Bolo. Yeah. I used to go to church. When I was a young kid, I had a Bolo. That's telling you.
There you go.
I think I had a little eagle with some turquoise in it, if I remember right.
If you're getting in Tijuana, it's got the scorpion.
Well, I think this one been bought from the Navajo Nation. I'm not 100% sure.
That's a different.
We did some traveling. This Everett's is a family.
The Bolo tie.
Hey, that's a good. Because everyone says Bolo, the Bolo tie. That's the pirates on our ship are rocking that Bolo, man.
Well, I threw it off when you said your name on the back of the belt. I did remember Tijuana. Like I said, I have been there. It is like the haggle. Derek's more into the haggle. I'm not. I'm just kind of a straightforward. Tell me what it is. That's what I like to be.
And that's true. But when you come to yard sales, so maybe you're more of a thrift guy because you go there. That's the prices, and you can haggle, but it's a little more awkward. And that's just kind of what it is. When it gets to be yard sale season, and you're there, man, you got to. I mean, it's your time to shine. And I think I'm a haggler, and I thought it's pretty good. But then, like, going back to a couple episodes ago, you know exactly where I'm going. We took Mr. Painter, the Husky section, the third member of the show. And he gave a clinic on how to haggle.
He's our MVP.
So ever I have some negotiations or whatever, I have the Shark, who's my brother, who doesn't want to come on the show. Well, he never said he's the Shark. I said, you should come on. We want to talk about negotiating cars, and because he'll go for fun, or he did before he was married and stuff, to car dealerships just to see what kind of prices he could get and to make the salespeople uncomfortable. And he had some great deals. He called me once and said, "Hey, are you interested in whatever?" I forget what the vehicle was. And
Stratus.
something. I mean, it was better than that. That was what I was currently rocking. And he's like, "You interested in this?" And I'm like, "Well, why?" And he's like, "I've talked him down $4,000 on it."
Standing here.
And he's just like, "I'm about ready to leave, but if you want it, it's here." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just decided to come over after work and just to negotiate, just do some haggling." So I have the Shark and I have Painter, so I'm somewhere in the middle, but I've definitely had some masters there. But no, you go to there's certain places where haggling is acceptable, and not only that, but it's expected. So the price is built in that way that you go to a yard sale or you go to maybe a Tijuana or whatever, and they ask $10. They're really hoping to get 7 to 5, and they're if they get 8, they're feeling great. If you walk away with 4, you got a deal, depending on how that dance goes. Same kind with eBay with your make offers, right? I might put up something for $100. I'm really looking for 70 to 75. Somebody pays above that, that's fine. But if they come in at 65, 60, depending on what I bought it at, they might just get a good deal to get that algorithm rolling, or just because I'm tired of having it in the back room.
I guess I sometimes forget when I go in and I set up, some of my items. I'll make an offer, and I'll put it at a dollar amount, and then I'll somebody offered me. Well, that's just a slap in the face, because they do it to see what your minimum offer is. I'm like, why did they set that at my minimum offer? I'm not taking that garbage.
Yeah.
Get that trash out of here.
I've had a few of those where I'm like, wait a minute, that's sold? And then look at the price. I'm like, how did that sell? What was I doing? That was somebody got a good deal that day.
Set up on an auto accept if the offers above something?
95% of them I do have an auto accept, just because I don't want to get that $1, $2, $5 all the way up to wherever you have that set at. So
I guess that is the haggle part. I like doing that. I've lost a lot of deals because I'm like, I did the same thing that you did. You said the other day. I can't remember. It was like a $65 item, and they offered 50, and then I says, well, I want 60, and then they say 51, and then I'll say, I don't know, 57, and then they'll say 52, and then I'll say 63.
Yeah.
Go way back up on it. Just kind of messing with it.
That's the way, you get so many offers, but a lot of the times they'll say, okay, where you at? I'm like, well, I take 65 or whatever, and they'll come back and, the 55, and then I'm like, well, 70 now.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, dude, you're going the wrong way. I'm like, no, I'm not. This is a negotiation. If you're going to go $10 below, I'm going to go, for an asking price or whatever. And it really does depend on the item, because there's some things where I'm like, you make any offer right now, this is yours. I got it for, $10 down at the Wiggly Piggly, and I just need to move it. But there's other things where you're like, okay, I overpaid for this. I at least need to break even. And, when you set a price, sometimes you think you're sitting on gold, and it just isn't. Or sometimes you're thinking you got a good deal and you didn't, and you have to, you're not in the business to lose money, right? No one's on eBay saying, let me ship this halfway across the country and lose some money on this thing, and have a customer that might say got broken, transit, all that kind of stuff. So,
but you have to look at it too. Most of the time on your stuff that you're selling, it's already paid for. So it's, it's a sunk cost. It's already gone. Basically, whatever you sell it for is what you're going to make. So sometimes it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to clean out your store? Are you trying to, that's one thing. People talk about, well, I'm not selling anything. Well, are you selling the right things? That's the
thing. If you're not selling anything, either your prices are too high, or you're buying the wrong thing, or you're shipping. There's a lot of people that if you go and look at their shipping, the prices are just too high. And I understand you say, well, I got to pad it, I got to package it, I got to do all this thing. Yes, you do, but if you're charging $10 to ship an item that's $17, who's going to pay that? That needs to be a maximum of probably $5 to $8 down. If it's a couple $100, then you're going to have to pay up for it. But kind of like we said before, when you buy the item is actually when you get that. You have to list and all that, but that's where the profit is made, right? That's where your margins are going to be, because that's your buy price. So if you're buying an item and you got for, like Adam was saying earlier, $6, and you can sell it for $65, that's great, and you've already made that profit. You just need to get it listed. If you're buying the same item for $50 and selling for $65, a lot tighter to do that. So when you're out doing the thrift store thing, or you're out at the yard sales, or wherever you're getting your merchandise, remember that is just because it sells. Because when we all start, we're like, well, if I could sell this item for $10, I make $10 off of it, and I get 100 of them, That's pretty good money. That adds up. I can buy that. But you're not thinking about, I have to store it, I have to list it, I have to ship it, I have to cover insurance in some cases, I get returns. I mean, that $10 margin can shrink pretty fast, and eBay fees, PayPal fees. So build yourself in a pretty good cushion on that.
Well, I'm done with the PayPal fees. They made me switch to the managed payments. I was probably one of the last people. I just kind of set it and forget it, and I liked it, because then I had money in my PayPal, and it was easy to transfer, but now I'm on the managed payment system.
I'm liking the managed payment. I haven't heard a lot of people not so happy about it. My guy, so I always say a few episodes back. A few episodes back means the last 6 months to me, right? And then after that, I'll be like, well, maybe a year ago. It could be anywhere from a year to when we started the podcast. So,
and the hard part is Derek, we had a scuffle with Spotify, just like some of the like I said, we've said it for Joe Rogan and I, we're on the same level here.
He just makes about, I don't know, 100 million more than us a year.
Just a couple more zeros, but we had some issues, and they gave us a cease and desist.
8 more zeros?
It was several.
Okay.
It was several.
I'm trying to do some thinking.
Some quick math. So anyway, we have a lot of episodes. I mean, I think this is like episode probably like in the 150s.
I think we're about 140s. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. So in the Wayback Machine.
We used to say, but who knows now? Well, with your Wednesday Wisdoms, they count.
Yeah, they're all on YouTube. You can find it. But yeah, Derek was saying that in the Wayback Machine, the last 6 months, that
we had a conversation where I was saying this guy was selling a bunch of these wrestling cards at Fire Sale because they were going to make him flip over to the managed payments, and he just did not want to do it. Well, come to find out, homeboy, it was a bit of a. I got a bunch of stuff from him at a good rate, right? And so he turns around and says, of course, well, I want this and this from you, and I'll give you a pretty good deal, but it's just for my personal collection. I thought, whatever, he gave me a pretty good deal. I made him a deal, not a killer deal, but a pretty good deal on some cards, right? And so a couple months later, I get looking. It must have been a few months, because it's been a couple months. Maybe it's a few weeks later. And he's got it for sale. And he's got it for sale for like a pretty good price. And I sold him, there was 3 cards. It doesn't matter what it is, because no one knows but me and him, basically, of the same person. And I had all 3 of them that were in existence graded. He bought one from me a while before, and he got this one for about the same price. So I still have one that I'm jacking sky high on the price. And he kind of priced this one up. And so I sent him a WTH is going on, buddy. I thought I gave you this pretty good deal. I thought you were getting out of the game on this fire sale that we just bought half your store from you. And I understand you gave me a good deal, but you said this was personal collection stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm not really selling it. It's just up there until I can get some more of my stuff. This is big, a long story. I thought, whatever, dude. Like, it's his item. I get it. He bought it from me. He can do whatever he wants with it. If he wants to run it over with a bulldozer, if he wants to dip it in gold and sell it for $1 million. But I thought, next time you come barking, and you will, because I know what I have coming back, you're not getting any discount. Matter of fact, that negotiation goes, oh, it's you. That's $50 more for me. I mean, you know how it goes. So be careful how you do business out there. And the same, I know if I'm going to him, I might get treated the same. But it was just, that just kind of caught me off guard. He didn't want to go in that managed payments one bit. And then he was selling off most of his store at a deep discount. And then now he's in there. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not even that big of an adjustment. They just they send it to your bank account. They have a few other things, but it was, instead of going to PayPal and clearing it out, it's just one less step the way I see it. But yeah, if you're buying stuff on PayPal, your little free money stash is disappearing.
It is gone. So shout out to a friend of the show, my favorite first, your second favorite, Brian. He sold some more Marvel cards, like $82. He's getting up there, and it was an SGC one, so getting into it, like I said, we talk a lot of just all kinds of different items that kind of morph, but movie memorabilia is pretty hot right now, and anytime you can get it in a card format, because it's small, portable, it's easy to display, so if you've got into that, I've got into some pretty unique, got some Beatles cards, they're really rare, like in the early 60s, my Barbara Streisand, I'm getting ready to send that one off. I think that's going to go.
I hate to tell you this, Adam, and you are on top of it, but I've seen people starting with these, these country gold cards. I've seen other card sellers who are starting to move on that, and our rock and roll cards. I know that you have your Megadeth and your AC/DC. So you might be a little ahead of the game, but the game is catching up.
The problem is the bigger we go, the more people listen. I mean, if you want to really go through, and that's why I love it, we can mark our success, we can mark our failures. I mean, we were talking Jordan stuff long before the Michael Jordan thing, the Last Dance. We were talking Tiger Woods long before the Tiger Woods. We've been talking about selling tickets.
Well, in fairness, I mean, Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods have been pretty popular before our podcast ever came into existence. But yes, they have shot up since we've been. I'll take the credit for it. I can just see people now saying, "Yeah, Derek and Adam think that they've created Michael Jordan's success in the card market." You know,
we did get in the group text, somebody said Jordan pushed off. They've got a sticker on the back of their car.
If you live in Utah, you know Jordan pushed off. The rest of the world, it means nothing to you, and he's the greatest of all time. We're not here to debate that.
Because he is. There's no debate.
And Tiger pushed off too on one of those putts.
Tiger, man, I told you I'm working on a Tiger project. That one I'm keeping in the bag until.
Well, that's the thing. So if you go back and listen, if you can find the early episodes where they will shortly be coming out. We used to say exactly what we were buying and talking about Bolos and stuff, and we'll still throw some out. I have a Bolo, just because I'm too busy to move on it. I'll share here later in the show. But now we do put some things on YouTube of what we're getting and why we're getting it. But for the most part, if you're not looking there, if you'll chat us up, I mean, we're not going to be those kind of guys that are just like, well, figure it out for yourself. I mean, we'll talk with anybody. We're here to help.
There's a lot of money to be made.
And there's a lot to go around, but we're not just going to sit here on the show and just give out free advice for the little looky-loos. They're just sitting there in the corners, not giving us our 5-star reviews to go and snag and you know, make all of our money.
It's like the people I had a couple people call, especially right now for tax stuff. They call and I'm like, who are you and what are you looking for? They want like free tax of us. I'm like, no, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't care what you did on TurboTax. I'm not going to tell you how to fix it.
Yeah, that's not how it works. If I come to your job there at McDonald's, I guess I do get to tell you how to make it my way. But most of us.
Hey, that's Burger King.
Oh, sorry, that was some.
I just had some the other day. It was
some King infringement.
It was good.
Nothing wrong with that. I wasn't making fun of the people working the fast food either. Just saying that most jobs you can't just come and get the free advice and not have to pay.
You got to pay for the advice.
Pay to play.
And speaking of that, we better pay for a few things right here. So let's catch some words from our sponsors.
Adam, my taxes are done. The season's over. I can just go on vacation and not have to see you again for another year.
Well, yeah, because you're never going to have to file your taxes again unless it's another year away.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I forgot about that.
They're never going away. So here at Adam Up Accounting, we're glad to help you during tax time. But if you're also a larger seller, if you need to run payroll, if you really want some help running those bookkeeping reports, because I know how good you are at that, we're happy to help you. We have really good affordable monthly plans on these higher seller, you're running it like a business, you've got some good amount of income, we'd be happy to take care of you so that your accounting needs are taken care of.
Well, I don't want to talk to you, though. I don't want to call up and just get some office off in, New Brunswick or somewhere.
Hey, we're here. You can message us on our website, shoot us a message on social media. We'd be glad to help you out, kind of tell you what options we have so that you can be more organized and teach you and help you make more money and pay less to Uncle Sam.
Well, what's your website and where do I find you on social media then, my friends?
Everything's Adam Up Accounting. You can look us up there on our website. You can follow us, get some Wednesday wisdom. We try to give you some tips. You can also link through the podcast, Deathpiles and Taxes. Get those taxes taken care of so you have more time to make money elsewhere.
Hey guys, it's Derek Everitt and Adam Beesley from the Deathpiles and Taxes podcast that you're listening to right now.
Your favorite accountant, I know. It's the greatest thing in the whole world.
A lot of you have been asking what you can do to help the podcast out, and seriously, all we want is a review.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a 5-star review, but if not, be fair, at least a 4.
We know you're listening. Like I said, we see the numbers. We're all over the world. Like I said, it's just we see it. We appreciate everyone listening. Help us get a little higher up there. Help us get more new listeners.
With the algorithms, people can help find us out, and it really does help. So if you can go to Apple, iTunes, that's where a lot of you are already listening, or wherever you're listening.
Spotify, Apple, all of these different things. They're all out.
Wherever you listen, give us you don't even have to write a review, just give us 5 stars. If you want to give us a review, that's cool too. We appreciate it, and keep listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Well, that's some Cinco de Mayo magic right there on the break.
Well, Adam, for you and me, that makes sense. For the people listening, they're thinking, that's been a few days ago.
Well, that's the day we're recording on, and that's the important thing, so.
And that's all that matters.
That is it.
Adam's getting some pretty good, he showed me some emails coming through. You're getting some love from the podcast and the other podcast.
The big bats are getting swung around.
You're getting some inquiries, and I'm like, hey, we need some of these people on the show, Adam.
When people email
Make it happen.
And Derek's like, I know who that, how do you, that guy's calling you? You mean that guy is going to call you? You need to have that guy on the podcast.
Get him before he does his, get them before they do their research, Adam.
Jeez.
Before they figure out what you've done.
You know, when I look, I'm really good at what I do. I just am, because I've done it long enough. It's weird when you think about what reselling, is. If you're just a normal, Joe Blow off the street saying, hey, I sell stuff online, and you go into X amount of tax preparation places, there aren't a lot of people that know exactly what you're going through. And I just had this situation with a client. They've got a couple rental homes. They lived overseas. And while they're there, she started an online business selling packets online, educational packets. And she killed it. And you think about your business sometimes, and you forget the expenses that you had that you didn't know about. I would talk about, well, where did you do your work from? She's like, well, I'd drop my daughter off, and I'd go to McDonald's because that's the only place they had Wi-Fi. Like, well, you're right. Did you spend money? Well, yeah, not a whole lot. But he says, well,
that dollar menu adds up.
How many times did you do it? She's like, well, 2 to 3 times a week. And then at the end, I was doing it every single day. I'm like, well, you're probably spending $5 to $8. She's like, yeah, because I felt bad just sitting there using the Wi-Fi. I'm like, well, that's an expense. How did you get there?
You don't think Ronald Grimace know that, do you?
Yeah, well, we took a taxi. I'm like, well, that's tax deductible. So all of these things that you may not know about, if you find the right professional, they will kind of lead you in the right direction. That's been my the way I play the game, and I know other places they don't necessarily do that. They just go off of what you give them. But that's why I'm here. That's why really good professionals, they help you save money and really get into the right path so you pay less in taxes.
Well, and that's the thing is, so from my vantage point, not the tax person, but I think there's a couple of things. One, you tell somebody you're a reseller, they think that you're saying that you're homeless or unemployed, and that you're
covered in syphilis.
You're trying to make a little extra money. Well, probably not, but maybe, depending on what your previous employment is. That might be where you're at that point. Adam's got a mouthful of Diet and I was trying to make him laugh. Did not happen. But the other thing is, so when it comes to taxes, right, I know that I can write off things. I've heard this my whole life. You hear, oh, they do this, they write off that. Either you're going to be really brazen and think that you know what you're doing and get yourself in trouble trying to do it yourself and write off more than you're allowed to, or you're going to be way too cautious and you're going to say, well, yeah, I can write off mileage, but I'm going to put it in half because I don't want to get audited, right? So you go and you find the right somebody. Like I found it. Well, I knew Adam, but I got to have him do my taxes versus me trying to do it on QuickBooks or whatever, .com.
Yeah, yes.
And whatever I was doing. And there's a point where it doesn't make sense for you to continue doing it yourself anyways. So you get a professional involved, and then I can say to Adam, well, I went, 10,000 miles, but I'm probably going to get audited, so let's just put 7. And you can say, no, you can put all 10. It shows it here, you got it tracked. And I say, well, I bought a new stove, and I cook my meals at home so that I can do it while I'm listing, so let's put that down for $7,000. And then you can be like, well, no, we're not going to do that, and this is why.
There you go.
So, there is wisdom in hiring somebody that knows what they're doing so that you don't get in more trouble, because when the IRS agent comes to the door, or you get flagged 20 years down the road, or whenever it comes out, right? Like, you might be doing this for a while and thinking that you're grifting them something fierce. And they come to the door, and you're on the second stove, and they're like, you've spent $10,000 on stoves in the last 20 years for your business. Well, it's your business. Well, I sell things online. But I was cooking my ramen here so that I could eat it. All of a sudden, that's a big problem.
Yes, because someone who spends $7,000 on the stove is cooking ramen, huh?
Well, yeah, you got to make up for it somewhere, right? Your reseller. Some are lean years, some are good years. Or you got your shrimps, right? And you're like, well, I was at Costco's anyways, and I was buying some tennis balls to put online to sell. But while I was there, I picked up the shrimp, and so instead of paying, $10, it was $15, so I deducted it all. That little stuff will come back to get you, but if you have somebody that knows what they're doing, they'll, one, make sure you don't make that mistake, and two, if it does happen and the IRS comes to the door, I'm going to say, I don't know, let's go talk with Adam.
It's all about reasonability, too. Does it really make sense that, you brought in, I don't know, $30,000, but you have expenses and you lost $27,000? So how does that work? It's all the numbers game of ratios. That's how they look at it. Like, they first look at, okay, how much dollars and cents did you have? What's your percentage of cost of goods sold? What's your percentage of mileage? Mileage is the biggest number one thing that people look at, that the IRS looks at and say, well, how is it really fathomable that you only made, 15,000, but yet you drove 27,000 miles? Like, it all depends, and that's why you want to make sure that you're doing the right things. So if you do have an audit, and audits are not awful things. It's obvious it's not something that you want, but most of the time you're never going to see one as a reseller. The only time you're really going to have one is not matching up income on your 1099Ks, especially if you have a couple platforms. You're doing stuff on Amazon, doing different things on, eBay, or, you have a different platform that if you went from managed payments to the PayPal, you would just want to make sure you account for everything and then sit back and realize, is this a sustainable business if it continues on this kind of a trend?
Well, I do think the other thing is, because we always go to the audit and people are scared of that and don't want to. I'm sure that's the case, but also people doing their own stuff, I think, might short themselves too, of like, okay, I'm not going to deduct nearly what I'm available to because I don't want that or have that fear. And that's another thing too, you don't want to shortchange yourself because you are out there being legit, you're doing the things, you're going to the yard sales, the thrift stores, the Walmarts, wherever you're getting your stuff from. You can count a lot of that stuff. When you're talking mileage, you're talking food, you're talking entertainment, you're talking where you're storing in your house, your shipping supplies. The list goes on for a while. And not only do you have to track that and keep, expenses and show what you're doing, but come the end of the year, you need to be confident enough in what you're doing to know, okay, this is deductible, and I'm not going to shortchange myself because I'm afraid of whatever might happen, or well, it's not really a business; it's just more of a hobby, and I don't want the government. I don't want to rob them.
Yeah. If it is a hobby, then you treat it like a hobby and you don't take any losses. And I do that with some people. We'll suspend those losses and carry them forward to a certain time period. So if they do make money, they can offset it. But the myth of I'm going to start my own side business to save taxes, no, that's not usually how it works. So
if you do it correctly, right? Like you're not doing this to you're doing this to make. Hopefully, you're doing this to make money.
That's what I always tell everybody. It's okay to owe a lot in taxes because the only reason you're going to owe a lot in taxes is it means you made a lot of money. Like, I would be okay if said, here you go, sir, here's $100,000, but you have to give $30,000.
You have to walk across Legos across the Vegas Strip, and you're like, well, it's money.
It's money, and we'll do just about
Now let me go double that at the craps table here in about 15 minutes if I can just get that in my pocket.
Dogecoin.
So I had a Bolo earlier. He's on this crypto kick, and he's not talking cryptids like your Bigfoots. He's talking about some kid's dog.
I will tell you one thing that I wish I would have, or I still am thinking about, is reselling those tickets, the tickets that were bought from the Oakland Athletic Games with the cryptocurrency. Can you imagine having those tickets?
That's the first.
I mean, and then
maybe you should contact those people and see if they will sell it to you. I'm betting it was a digital ticket, but
probably digital ticket.
Even at that, the screenshot, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can make it an NFT on the screenshot.
That's what I said.
And there you go.
That's right.
And then you're getting into it all. But let me give you. Oh, go ahead. You got something there?
Say, I mean, Derek's close personal Twitter friend, Gary V, was supposed to come out with a big NFT project today, but...
My Twitter follower, you mean?
I do, your Twitter follower.
Not my friend, he follows me.
Yes.
It's kind of cute.
Just like a lot of things. I mean, his project wasn't ready in time, and he says, hey, I'm not going to halfway release it. I'm going to make sure it's fully ready. So even him, the big boys, like, you can have goals in mind, like Derek, we talked about earlier about listing, like, you go make an effort to make something happen.
I better make sure he's still following me. I've been saying this for a while.
You have been.
I think he still is. Maybe I should follow him back.
Maybe you should.
Maybe he's feeling like I should follow him back.
Yeah, well,
I'll check that for the next episode.
All right, well, you do that, big boy.
But yeah, you got to make sure your ducks in a row and don't just. I mean, you should hit goals and things, but don't panty waste around and not do the real project that you said you would, just because that's do it right.
Go make money. That's the whole thing.
Do it right the first time. So I got a Bolo for the people, and it's a real one.
All right.
And in the past, my Bolos hit.
They do hit.
They hit. Mike Painter sold. We talk about him more on the podcast than eBay itself sometimes.
I think we should get like a royalty fee on everything he says.
I think we should get some kickback.
We really started this as two buddies just talking, because this is how we talk every day, and now we limit it, so it's like we gotta wait till the podcast. But Derek was selling online. I'm like, well, that sounds cool. Like, I'm gonna start doing that, and then our other friends started getting involved, and some of them are more involved than others. But
pretty successul.
Everybody's making extra dollars now than what they were before. So.
But he sold some of his Butterfingers. If you remember, we talked about Butterfingers a while ago. He sold. I mean, they were one of those things you have to sit on a little bit. He sold them.
Candy's hot.
You get the right thing, the right limited thing. I mean, same with cereals. I don't know if you saw, but we didn't talk about it on the podcast. But they had a lot of Pokemon cards in certain. I think it was Kellogg's.
Yeah, I did see that.
People were snagging those up like nothing. They were reselling them. You get the right thing. That's the thing. There's always something. But my father, Everett Denny, who Adam is going to procure on the podcast for the Father's Day episode.
Yes.
So he's going to get on that, which will be a great episode. Whether or not it's reselling or not, it will be a fun one. And but he's kind of getting into some things too. Anyways, he works at a brick and mortar store. A hardware type store, right? And so a lot of the times, and if you use these connections in your life or think about them, people that work in hardware stores, or I keep saying Walmart, Targets, maybe some different kind of places that, really specialize in what they do, really know or pay attention to what's coming in inventory, that kind of thing. He turned me on a little bit about last year about those bottle lids. If you remember, we had a big bottle lid controversy, and people were all upset because I was selling canning bottle lids for, 10 times what they cost. And
canning lids.
I was a horrible person. Mason jar lids.
You had a feud with a lady, too. That was.
I still do. I need to go figure out where she's at and see if she's still in business, and if not, gloat about how I still am and she is not. People listening, that I'm not a bad person, but sometimes I do bad things. That's one of the bad things I do. But I'm really nice once you get to know me. But if you cross me, we might have a Hatfield and McCoy type grudge going for a little bit.
You don't want to cross.
Just like the guy that selling my card, I sold him at a discount that I brought up not but 20 minutes ago. But anyways, no, I'm a good guy, Adam. I give you good advice and things. If I have to convince you I'm a good guy, I'm not. But anyway, so he tells me about these lids, and they skyrocket. I didn't buy enough. I should have. He likes the Necco wafers. And the company was going out of business, so I started selling the Necco wafers. I got the Mary Jane candies down the road. I sold them for $200 for like 6 boxes of candy. So anyways, my dad's in tune, is what I'm trying to say. Everett Denny knows what's up. So the other day he sends me a text and he says, hey, just so you know, if you can get chlorine tablets or any kind of chlorine, you're going to want to buy those. They're going to be a major bolo. So I put it in my head, okay, but the problem is I have my full-time job. Me and Adam have a side thing going that's pretty major. We got the podcast going that's kind of major. The podcast got shut down. I had to put it all back up and re-edit it. That turned into be kind of major. I got, I'm taking a class to become a Class A CDL driver, which is a little more intense than probably time-consuming than I thought. Just, there's tons of things going on, right? Plus, my wife wants to see me. Plus, we got to eat.
We don't know why.
And then things sell on eBay, and I got to package them and get them out. So, turns out, dividing up time and trying to get things listed is kind of a little more difficult than I thought. Yeah. So I don't really have the free time to drive around to the chlorine emporiums, to Pools R Us, or wherever you find this stuff to buy this. Point of the story is the factory that makes all the chlorine or imports all the chlorine or has all the chlorine in America burnt down.
Whoa.
So there's no chlorine. It's a real shortage right now. we're coming up on summertime. People are finally able to get back together. People are finally able to go on vacations. People are finally able to move around the country a little more than last year. And a lot of people are booking trips and trying to do this. One of the things that people like is swimming pools at hotels, so you can drop off the kids at the pool like Adam likes to do in his free time. He's always telling me about how he's dropping off the kids at the pool.
Holy crap, you're not kidding.
And I know you enjoy that activity. So anyways, if you can find chlorine right now, and there's probably not a lot of it around, but some of those older stores or where things don't go, and a lot of people use it to treat their local pools or hot tubs or that kind of thing, you can't find this. And if you can, it's very expensive. So, very major Bolo right now. I'm sharing it with you guys. I've been holding on to it for a few weeks because I wanted to score it myself. Not going to be able to do it. Go find chlorine in whatever form you can get it. Sell it on eBay. Thank me later. Take me out for some shrimps. Take me to that French Garter where Adam's going with Griff or whatever. What was that, the French Laundry?
French Laundry, yeah.
And, so major Bolo, Adam. What do you think?
Wow, I'm just looking on here. I mean, there's several $100s for these larger, tablets, these 30, 40-pound things. I mean, they're expensive, so.
Well, here's the thing. Word hasn't quite got out. People are just finding out they can't order it in and stuff. So a lot of these businesses and hotels and rich people and Hollywoods and recreational centers and cities don't quite know that they can't get it yet. So the prices are already where they're at now. Where are they going to become peak summertime? Because this isn't something that can just be mass-produced quickly. So I'd go to those hardware stores. If you do have, if you're in an area, now there's probably a lot of the pool-type stores know about this now, but you want to find those places that haven't caught on to this being a big crisis, right? Probably not down at your Walmart, but, more of like your Ace Hardware stores or your mom-and-pop-type hardware stores across the nation. If I was a smart man, I would have said this, I would have got a Sprinter van, and we would have drove coast to coast.
Fortunately, we don't have the time for it.
We don't have the time and the smarts, because I just thought about that. But so move on that, people, and you can thank me later. Like I said, take me out to dinner, buy me a pizza, whatever it is.
Yeah, if you can get your hand on those chlorine tablets, I think there's some real dollars to be made there. So that's D-Roy's Bolo minus the Doge. Unfortunately, it's a little higher than what it used to be, so who knows about that?
Adam's got his pinky finger pointed directly to the moon.
Yes. But D-Roy, man, it's been a good, quick week. Like I said, we had a great time talking with Griff. That came up. So Derek did say we've got a couple things, some irons in the fire. Wheelchair stuff's going great. Like I said, that's been really fun.
Can I ask you something about the wheelchair? I know you're trying to wrap me down, but the best kept secret, and it was a secret to me until I got in your truck one day. Can we talk about Shark Tank?
Yeah, we can talk about Shark Tank.
We've been holding this close to the vest. I didn't know the whole thing, but a lot of people I think will be interested because a lot of people listen to these podcasts are like me and you, same mindset, and these kind of people watch the Shark Tank TV show.
Yes.
So speaking of the wheelchair, I got into Adam's truck once again a few months ago. This might have been pre-COVID for all I know.
It was.
Was it pre-COVID?
Because I've got
a few months ago, so a year ago.
The Shark Tank wristband up by on the mantle. Over
so I was, we were driving to go get us we were going to try a Whopper and an Impossible Whopper in the break of a show.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
And we're going for a ride, and just next door, town over, well, we're just trying to come off an episode or in between episodes, I don't remember which. And I'm kind of looking into the console. There's a shirt band, I thought it was a lanyard, but it must have been a wristband.
Wristband.
And I'm like, what's this? And you're like,
went to Shark Tank.
I went to Shark Tank over the weekend. I'm like, what do you mean you went to Shark Tank over the weekend? So let's fill us in on this story. I was waiting to see where it went, and I had it wrote down in my notes, and every time I'd see it, I'm like, we're out of time, we're out of time. I need to bring that up. People are going to find this interesting, Adam, so why don't you just break it down how it went down, kit and caboodle, as the kids are saying.
We can do that. So, like I said, as an accountant, I like doing what I do. I like doing accounting stuff. Most of it happens for 4 months, and then after that I get, kind of bored, and I want to do other things, and I deal with a lot of clients that have a business, started a business, and I've always wanted to do that kind of thing. So I have over the years started a couple different things, and just learning. And a couple years ago, I had some friends that had an off-road wheelchair, just sitting in their shop, and I went in and saw it, and I said, that's the coolest thing ever. I don't know how we're going to, but we're going to start making a lot of those and selling them. So, you have a concept, you have an idea, you have to get some sales. We had done some of it, and the end goal is, you want to sell a lot of them as quick as possible. And getting the hype on like a Shark Tank type show is one way to do that. I think we have a wonderful product. It helps a lot of people. And at the same time, it's also a product that makes money, and helping people is great. Like, the more money you make, the more people you can help. That's just kind of the way the world works. At the beginning, we were giving away a lot of things and putting a lot of money into it. So, anyways, I looked and I said, I'm gonna give Shark Tank a call, like, see what we can do. An open audition that just happened to be about 5 days after I looked it up. So this was back in December. No, I think it was it December or January? I think it was January of last year. It was January of 2020. So pre-COVID. It was like right around, the second or third week in January. And I told my partner, I says, hey, let's go. I had him wear his he's a firefighter, that's what he made it for. He made the chair, but I had him wear the wrong firefighter outfit. I should have had him come in his like his run into a building type fire stuff. I didn't. I had him wear his nice thing, and looking back, it was a wrong decision. Everybody thought he was pushing me around. They thought it was like a valet or something.
Well, because you were in Las Vegas, right? If you'd been somewhere else, maybe you would have been.
So we go to the Venetian, and we line up. Like, you have to be. We had to fill out this big long packet. Had to have it done. You had to pre-register to be there. You had a certain time period. You had to go and get a wristband. Like, we had to sit in line to get a wristband to be able to do it. It was really weird. Like, there was probably, 1,000 different people in there, like different groups ready to pitch. They had the front table where they had 4 different people that you would present to, kind of in one of those big ballroom type things. We waited around. The cool thing was just walking around talking to other people. There was a lot of people who were like, what in the heck is that? Or what is that? And it was weird because then it was the COVID year, so you didn't really kind of get to see a lot of results. But anyways, they told you had like a minute pitch to basically give them your ideas, and then there'd be kind of a Q&A. And we practiced and practiced. I'm pretty free-spirited. A lot of times it works well, but in certain situations I need to be more concise. And so that's what we did. We practiced, we got ready, myself and my partner, we kind of went back and forth. So then we go to pitch our idea, and we don't even get like 20 seconds into it. The guy starts asking me questions, and I'm like, well, hold on, I'm not done yet. Like,
I haven't hit the big line.
And he's asking us questions, and I do all the numbers and everything, and I thought it went really well. I really did. I thought it went really well. They never called us back. They never did anything. Which, to each your own.
Well, that's how it goes, right?
It's a long shot, but, I've done another online application this year. We've sent it in, so I learned a lot. Like I said, it was definitely interesting. I got to talk to Mindy from casting. She's the one that puts everybody on the show, so I talked to her personally. She wasn't the one that we pitched to. There was another guy, but it was cool. I mean, it was a good experience.
Well, I just thought it was an interesting story, and just because you didn't get on or whatever, it's like we talked about. You went to bat, right? You took a swing, and after that point, it's out of your hands. Like, whether or not you get on or not, it's kind of like a lottery ticket. But
and I did taxes for a company that actually was accepted on there. They had a product years and years ago that was accepted, so I kind of got to see the accounting process. And the funny part is that many years ago, I think that they were still, even Shark Tank was still kind of in that new phase, and their accounting was not very good. and then I had another company a couple years later that we did some things with. So it was a cool thing. Like I said, you don't know unless you try. And like I said, we gave it the old swing, and nothing came of it. But you know what? We're that much bigger, badder, stronger, faster.
I mean, you say nothing, but you learn from it. Your company has grown from it, I'm sure. When you give other pitches now, you have a lot more of a pitch together because you had to put it together for the show.
We did.
You signed all the paperwork in your life away, so next time you know what you're looking for and what you're signing.
Yes.
I didn't know if we had a non-compete or something we couldn't talk about it on the show. That's why I dropped it for about this long, and I thought, it's a good story.
It's past the 1 year and non-disclosure, which we didn't sign one. on. So
whether or not it was something that was, was still in the works, TV moved slow, I just thought it was a good time to bring it up because our people out there listening, they like that kind of stuff.
Which it is super, super secretive if they do pick you. Like, the next step is we'd have to fly out there to pitch. Not even, it's like a pre-pitch. Like, you go out there, you do some things. You don't even film in front of anyone else. You basically do a mock one, and then they'd fly you back out there. But that all kibosh because of COVID. So
yeah, we long time ago went to Let's Make a Deal, and it was it's different. It's not Shark Tank, I get it, but they have you basically sign your life away and say, hey, if you say anything before this airs or put it on your social media or anything like that, you're not getting nothing. So keep the mouth shut.
Yeah, don't be saying nothing. So, but no, it was a good fun experience. So like I said, if you've got an idea, you've tried doing something, you never know. Like it just takes that right person at the right time to say, that's a great idea.
That's the thing. It's going back to the tax talk or whatever. There's a lot of people that get in their own head or listen to other people about, well, you'll never get on. Why would they pick you? Why would you? Don't worry about it, right? Like, they're not going to pick you if you don't do it. They're not going to buy your item if you don't list it. They're not going to buy that if you don't buy it to sell. Why would anyone buy that from you? That's what people would have said to me about a Rocky Maivia rookie card out of a WWF trivia game, right? And I start selling them, and now they're saying, why did you sell it for so cheap? Don't you know what people would pay for those? So don't cut yourself short. Don't think just because no one else is doing it or very few people are doing it that there's not a market there or that it can't be done. Or, I can't have an eBay store. I can't make it to the post office every day. I can't figure this out. You can and you will. So keep going.
If I took what people told me, I wouldn't be married to my wife right now, and I wouldn't be hanging out with Derek because both of those people said, "Man, this guy's weird."
Well, what are you doing here? Well, even our buddy Pelly, right? How we met. You had to wear him down to where I'd ever meet you. He thought, "Why won't this kid leave me alone? What's his problem?"
And now he's
now he's an integral part of the inner circle.
Top of the list. So there you go, D-Roy. There are two things in life that are for certain.
That would be Deathpiles and make sure to do your taxes, folks.
Copyright is wrong. With lots of dedication.